Hello everyone and welcome to another Marvel Champions video. Last week Fantasy Flight announced the Penny Parker slash Spider deck. So today we're going to take a look at the cards that were revealed for that deck. So first up here we have Penny Parker on her civilian side, so alter ego. 4 recovery, hand size of 4 with 14 hit points. And she's a civilian, has psychogenetic compatibility, which is a setup. Put the spider suit into play in active side face up. And then has the maintenance ability, which is alter ego action. Exhaust the spider suit to draw 2 cards. So low hand size, but high hit points. And next card here we have is the spider suit. It's a support. This is the inactive side of it, so this starts face up. It's a permanent. This card's printed text box cannot be treated as if it were blank. It has the return to base ability, which is a force interrupt. When you flip to this side, flip spider to the Penny Parker side. Detach Penny Parker from here, moving all counters on here and cards attached to her to this card. So basically this symbolizes her kind of like linking into the suit and getting like out of it basically, because this hero is going to have an alter ego side and then the mech suit side that she's in, but she's having to attach herself to it. So this is the spider suit. So next card. We have, this is the Spider. This is, let's see, I think Spider, so it's an interface pilot card. This is permanent as well. This card printed text box cannot be treated as if it were blank, and it has suit up ability. So when you flip to this side, flip Spider suit to its active side, attach this card to the Spider suit, moving all counters to it, to the Spider suit. So basically, the suit will have all the counters and all that on it, and then when you flip to the active side, like this, you basically move those counters to the suit. So that is the what's Spider. It's an upgrade. Next card here. Here we have the actual Spider suit. So let's see, hand size of 3 with 14 hit points, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. This is the active side as well as a web warrior. It has sync ratio, so exhaust and interface upgrade you control to generate that upgrades resources. So you have these upgrade cards or these interface cards that you can use for other things, and this allows you to generate resources with those cards. So 2 across the board, so 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Hand size of 3, pretty low, but 14 hit points is pretty good. So that is the suit. Into our next card here. We have the Host Spider. It's a 3-cost upgrade. Generates a wild resource if you were to discard it. It's an interface card as well as a spider card, and it's a hero action. Exhaust the Host Spider to ready the suit. So basically, you can attack with the suit, thwart with the suit, do whatever. If you have the Host Spider, you can exhaust it to ready the suit, getting a little bit more use out of the attack, thwart, possibly defense as well. So that is the Host Spider. It's in the next card. We have Psychic Link, 2-cost upgrade. Generates a mental resource if you discard it. It's interface as well as a tech. So I guess with the Spider Suit's ability to exhaust interface cards, you exhaust it and it generates whatever resources on it. So this will generate a mental resource with that ability. But it has the hero interrupt. So when Spider Suit makes a basic thwart, exhausts the Psychic Link to get it +2 thwart for that thwart. So suits can thwart for 2. This allows you to basically get a +2 to that thwart, because it's worded when the suit makes a basic thwart, exhausts the Psychic Link, and it gets +2 for the thwart. So yeah, thwarting 4 with this upgrade is pretty good. And then again, if you have Host Spider, you can then thwart with it, use the Psychic Spider or the Host Spider to ready the suit and then attack or thwart again or something like that. So that is Psychic Link. Into the next card. We have here the Speed Metal Alloy. 1-cost upgrade. Generates a physical resource if you discard it. It's interface as well as tech. So it generates physical. So if you use the suit's ability to get resources with it, you would exhaust this to get a physical resource. Hero Interrupt. When it makes an attack, exhaust it to get +2. When the suit makes a basic defense against an attack, it gets +2 defense. So defense for 2. With this, you can exhaust it, and a defense for 4. So you're getting a lot of value out of these upgrades, and then basically using it to get +2 to various stats. So we see thwart, we see defense, so this gets +2 defense. into our next card. We have the web fluid, web fluid, web fluid compressor. So 2 cost upgrade, generates an energy resource if you discard it. It's interface as well as tech. When it makes a basic attack, exhausts it, it gets +2 attack for the attack. So looks like there's going to be 3 upgrades that deal with all 3 stats. So you exhaust each of them to get +2 to whatever. So +2 to defense, attack, and thwart. So that's the web fluid compressor. Into our next card here. We have Aunt May and Uncle Ben. So it's a 1-cost support, or sort of like the multiverse version of them from her universe particularly. It's a persona. It generates a mental resource if you discard it. Let's see. It's a support action. Exhaust Aunt May and Uncle Ben and discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Top 3 cards instead if you are in alter ego form. Add each spider card discarded that way to your hand. So looks like you can use it outside of being in alter ego, but you get a bonus if it is an alter ego. So if you do it as hero, you discard 2, and you can take any of the spider cards that were discarded to your hand. If you're in alter ego form, you get 3 cards, or you get to discard 3 and take all the spider cards, which is pretty sweet. So that's Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Into the next card. We have All Systems Go, 1-cost event. Generates an energy resource if you discard it. It's a hero action you can choose between to ready each interface upgrade you control. That's pretty strong right there. Or search your deck and discard pile for an interface upgrade and add it to your hand, and then shuffle. The interface upgrades are cool because they give you +2 to a certain stat, so being able to pay 1 resource to ready those, and then if you have the host spider out, ready again, you can basically just do a ton of attack, a ton of thwart, or get extra defense with it as well. So All Systems Go is really strong. So that's that card. Into the next one. We have Rapid Deployment. It's a 2-cost event. It's a thwart, generates a mental resource if you discard it. The hero action is a thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme if you pay for this card using a resource generated by Spider Suit sync ratio ability. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. So I think it removes remove threat, and then if you pay for it using that, like the ability, the sync ratio, you remove 3 threat. So you get 3 threat removed for 2, or it looks like it removes up to 6 if you use the ability, because it's remove 3 from a scheme. You do that, and then if you pay for it using the sync ratio, remove 3 threat from a scheme. So pretty strong. And 2 resource costs on that one. Into our next card, we have the Web Trap. It's a 2-cost event. It's an attack. Generates an energy resource if you discard it. Hero attack or hero action attack. Deal 5 damage to an enemy if you pay for this card using a resource generated by sync ratio. Stun that enemy. So some of these cards are going to rely on you using the sync ratio. You get a bonus for doing so. So this deals 5 to an enemy, and then if you use the sync ratio's ability, you also stun them as well. So that's pretty good. So 5 damage, and then potential stunning them if you use the sync ratio. Into our next card, we have the Ejection Protocol. It's a 0-cost support. It's a tactic. It generates a physical resource if you discard it. Hero action, discard Ejection Protocol. Exhaust each interface upgrade you control. Set your hit dial to 6. Give your identity a tough status card, and flip to alter ego form. So basically, you play this. If you're about to be defeated, you can use Ejection Protocol. You discard it, exhaust all your interface upgrades. You get 6 hit points basically. So let's say you were at 1 and you were about to, you don't want to get attacked, or you don't think you're going to survive an attack. You can basically just eject from the suit. So very thematic, but also you get your dial set to 6. So if it was below 6, it goes up to 6. You also then get a tough status card. So when you do get attacked the next time, you remove that status instead, and then it puts you into alter ego form. So that's pretty cool. So that is the Ejection Protocol. Into our next card, we have Daredevil. So 2-cost ally. So it looks like she might be a protection deck. We're getting green cards here. It generates a physical resource if you discard it. So 2 thwart, 1 attack. Let's see, you have 2 consequential damage for the thwart, 1 consequential damage for the attack. And response, after Daredevil defends against an attack, move 1 damage from him to the attacking enemy. So you take damage using some of his abilities, and then if he then defends, you can move damage to the attacking enemy as well. So that is Daredevil. Into the next card. We have Spiderman Noir, so 3 cost ally, generates an energy resource if you discard it. X thwart, X attack with 1 consequential damage for each, comes in with 3 hit points. He's a web warrior, and X is equal to the number of face down cards attached to Spider-Man Noir. And after you resolve a treachery, if you control another web warrior card, attach that treachery face down here to a max of 3. So it looks like you basically get the treacheries, and then if, let's see, after you resolve a treachery, if you control another web warrior, which you probably will, like with Penny Parker or any of the other Spider-Man characters, you can then attach the treachery face down to Spider-Man Noir, and each one gives him +1 to thwart and attack to a max of 3. So it looks like he's going to have at most 3 thwart, 3 attack with 1 consequential damage each with 3 hit points. So that's a pretty cool ability there. So that is Spider-Man Noir. Into our next card, we have Flip Flip, 2-cost event, generates a mental resource if you discard it. It's a superpower. Hero action, deal 1 damage to a web warrior character you control. Place a total of 2 stun status cards on up to 2 enemies. So deal 1 damage to a web warrior character you control. So basically you take a damage to a web warrior, but then you get to stun, let's see, web warrior control, place a total of 2 stun status cards on up to 2 enemies. So basically 2 resources, 1 damage to stun 2 enemies. That's actually pretty good. That could go potentially well in my Captain America deck. I guess I need a web warrior card, so I would need to like put in some web warrior allies, which Spider-Man Noir is a good ally right there. So you have him out. You deal 1 damage to Spider-Man Noir, stun 2 enemies. It probably won't be that particularly. It might be okay in my Captain America deck. Probably not great, just because I would need to put more web warriors in there, or web warrior allies specifically, but. That is like for in a Spider-Man deck though, or a Spider Web Warrior deck. This could be good because you're taking 1 damage to 1 of your Web Warriors to stun 2 enemies. Pretty good. So that is Flip Flip. Into the next card, we have Spider Tinkle. 1-cost upgrade, generates a mental resource if you discard it. It's a superpower. Interrupt, when you would reveal an encounter card, deal 1 damage to a Web Warrior character you control. If the card is a treachery, cancel its when revealed effects and discard Spider Tinkle. So if you somehow know what's coming up, if you know it's going to be a treachery, you can use this, deal 1 damage to a web warrior to cancel the treachery, which is pretty interesting, pretty good. So that is Spider Tingle. Into our next card, we have Spider-Man. This is, I think, Otto Octavius. So this is the, what's this? The Dr. Octopus Spider-Man. Did we read that correctly? Yes, Otto Octavius. So 2-cost ally. Gray goes into any deck. 1 thwart, 2 attack with 1 consequential damage for the thwart, 2 for the attack. The web warrior, play only if you control the web warrior card. After you play Spider-Man from your hand, ready and upgrade you control. If that upgrade has the tech trait, draw a card. So let's see, like 1 thwart, 2 attack. Play only if you have a web warrior. After you play Spider-Man, you let's see, ready and upgrade you control, and then if it's a tech upgrade, you get a draw card. That's pretty good. So that is Spider-Man. Into our next card, we have, let's see, Force Field Generator. It's tech, generates an energy resource if you discard it. 3 cost. Uses 6 energy counters, max 1 per player. Force Interrupt, when you take any amount of damage, remove that many energy counters from here. For each energy counter removed this way, prevent 1 of that damage. So it kind of reminds me of the, forget what the name of the card is, but it's got Cable on it, and it's like basically a shield generating card as well. I think that one only comes in with 3 counters. This comes in with 6. So this is pretty good. So that is the Force Field Generator. Into our next card, we have Repurpose. 0-cost event. Generates an energy resource if you discard it. Hero action. Discard attack upgrade you control. Ready your hero and choose thwart, attack, or defense until the end of the round. Your hero gets +X to the chosen power, where X is equal to that upgrade's printed cost. So basically, discard attack upgrade you control. Ready your hero. If the card cost, let's see, card cost 2, you get +2 to thwart, attack, or defense, or whatever the resource cost is. So that's Repurpose. Into our next card, we have Unshakable. 1-cost upgrade, generates a physical resource if you discard it. Play only if your identity has at least 14 printed hit points. I think Hulk probably has that too. It's been a while since I played as Hulk, but I think he has that. Your identity gains steady. Steady characters require 2 status cards of the same type to be stunned or confused. That's pretty good. Especially because Penny Parker or Spider Suit has 14 points. Again, I think Hulk does as well. So that will make it so if you need to get stunned or confused, you need to have 2 of each of those token cards to do so. So that is Unshakable. Into the next card. We have Sandman. This is the minion. 1 scheme, 1 attack, 7 hit points. Has a boost icon as well as a star. Force response after Sandman takes any amount of damage from an attack. Discard the top 7 cards of the encountered deck. And if he comes out on a boost, discard the top 7 cards of the encountered deck. So 7 hit points is pretty strong though, but he can be dealt with. So that's Sandman. Into our next card. We have Bombshell. This is another minion. But let's see. 2 scheme, 3 attack with an asterisk. 4 hit points. Comes in with a star icon. Divide damage from Bombshell's attack among each character the attacked player controls as evenly as possible. So it looks like it comes out, does 3 attack. Let's say I have 3 characters. Let's say I have Peni Parker and 2 allies that each come out taking 1. Because divide damage from the attack among each character the attack player controls as evenly as possible. Let's see. And then if it comes out on a boost, deal 1 indirect damage to each player. Exhaust each character damage that way. So basically, it comes out, deals a damage, and then whatever character gets damage gets exhausted. That's if it comes out on a boost, though. So that's Bombshell. Into our next card. We have Hobgoblin, another minion. 2 scheme, 2 attack with an asterisk, 5 hit points. Comes in with 2 boost icons. Let's see what we have here. Force interrupt. When Hobgoblin would attack you, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck equal to Hobgoblin's attack instead. Take 1 indirect damage for each boost icon discarded this way. So comes in with, looks like 2 attack, but when Hobgoblin attacks you, discard. So it looks like at first, if he doesn't have any kind of upgrades on him to increase his attack, you're going to discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, and you're going to take indirect damage based on the number of boost icons. So that could hit hard. It might not hit anything. Some cards have 0 icons. Some cards have a lot. So depending on what's in the encounter deck, his attack could do it might do 0 damage. It might do 6 damage or something like that, depending on what you discard. But that is Hobgoblin. Into our next card. We have Iron Spider. It's another minion. 2 scheme, 2 attack with an asterisk as well. 6 hit points. 3 boost icons. Has guard, patrol, and retaliate 1 and toughness. I kind of think guard has to be attack first. Patrol, I'm trying to figure out what patrol does. Retaliate, if it gets attacked, it does damage. And then comes in with a tough status to where if you attack it, it loses the toughness before it takes damage. And then let's see, Iron Spider's attacks gain overkill. So they just go, if they defeat an ally, they basically spill over damage to you. That is Iron Spider. And into our last card here, we have Grand Larceny. It's a side scheme. It's a crisis. Comes in with 4 threat points. Comes in, also has 3 boost icons. Threat cannot be removed from the scheme while a criminal minion is in play. So as long as there's a criminal minion out, you have to deal with the criminal minions before you can get rid of threat on this scheme. And then once you do so, it's a crisis, so it has a crisis icon. So you have to deal with this threat before you can deal with the other, or deal with this scheme before you can deal with other schemes. So that is the deck for, at least the cards revealed so far, for Peni Parker / Spider. Looking forward to playing that. I know we have Ironheart coming out, we have Nova, and we have Spider. I think they announced a few other characters. But whenever more cards get revealed, we'll be doing more videos. That's going to do it for this one. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you again next time. Thanks again for watching, and take care. Have a good one.